This year, throughout the entire year, the North Node is moving through the sign of Aries, which is a very entrepreneurial sign and is a sign around being independent, being courageous, and sometimes being a little bit aggressive in pursuit of the things that you want and desire to create. All right, I myself have Capricorn rising and sun. This new moon in Capricorn is happening in your first house of the self, and it's squaring the North Node in your, both nodes, but yeah, especially the North Node, in your fourth house in Aries. The North Node is with Chiron. So there is something here where you guys are having a new beginning, a new identity trying to unfold, but there is a link with your past with the square with the North Node and Chiron in your fourth that you are attached to. Some kind of comfort zone, some old identity, some old patterns, some way of being that you likely inherited from your family or have been participating in unconsciously. There's something here where it's like you're ready to move on, you're ready to grow, you're ready to burst out into this new layer of the self. But there's something, again, within your past, within your family, within your ancestry, within your comfort zone that is like, no, let's stay here. Let's keep doing things the way we've been doing them. Let's just keep living our life a little bit on autopilot. And so there is the habitualness, the unconscious energy of the fourth house that you are having to confront against. The maybe lifetimes or, and I mean past lives when I say that, or years or ancestral lines of energy formed in a specific direction where there's momentum that you are on that track. And this new moon is like, no, we're trying to have a new version or a new identity start to come alive. And that means you have to vary from that track a little bit. And sometimes that takes a lot of conscious effort and attention to be able to get out of this old energy, essentially. Be willing to adapt and to change. So there is this lightness here with this new moon. I feel like we're supposed to be having a plan and a structure, which is, again, very Capricorn. And yes, I see that for you. But there's also this need to be willing to remove old iterations, old things that we've done, old habits, old beliefs, old thoughts, old patterns, in order to actually create a solid new plan for ourselves, an updated plan for how we're supposed to be taking care of our body, how we're supposed to be moving towards certain goals, how we're supposed to be expanding our emotional wellness. We can't just keep doing things the way that we've been doing them. And a Capricorn new moon really illustrates that you're having the ability to access that next level, that new layer of identity, and shed some old aspects of the self in order to make that happen. This new moon is also making a beautiful trine to Uranus in the fifth house. So it's a very kind of spontaneous and creative energy, one in which you're asking yourself how I can live more in alignment with certain interests of mine that maybe I haven't dove into that much. Maybe I haven't played around with some of these things that much. So this could be a new hobby or a passion project or wanting to have a kid or wanting to go on a trip, things that feel like maybe they have always interested you or have come up into your mind, but you haven't kind of pursued them fully. This is your year to do that, especially because Jupiter is in the fifth house, encouraging you, saying, yes, try that new hobby, learn that new thing, go on that trip, meet that person, have that kid, start that business, whatever it is that excites you. But again, this new layer of identity that is coming through to support that is going to require adaptability, is going to require a lot of emotional awareness as well, and working through kind of where we keep ourselves in a box at certain times or follow certain well-laid paths. I hope that makes sense. As I mentioned, Jupiter is in your fifth house and is trining Mars in your first. So you guys are in a period of really feeling motivated, feeling very creative, feeling inspired. Maybe you're growing in confidence as well. Your physical appearance or your vitality could also strengthen at this time. So ultimately, I really see that as something being really beneficial as long as things from the past are not too triggering. I feel like this time is really fortifying for the most part. And I really, really love this energy for creativity. So if there's anything you have an idea about, it is a go ahead, sure, green light to act on whatever that is. Saturn, the ruler of this moon, so it's going to further describe what's happening at this new moon, is in your third house. So this is an area where throughout this whole year, Saturn will be in this sector, this third house, which is really having you become quite disciplined within your mindset. So if you've had limiting mindsets, if you have had trouble communicating what's going on inside of you, if you have had trouble making decisions or being committed to things, if you are having trouble managing how you spend your time and how busy you are, this is a year where you're going to have to hone in on those things and get really focused and clear, work on your self-talk, work on your dialogue, work on also expressing yourself. And that's one of the ultimate goals for the year. But Saturn's in your third house at the time of this new moon, sextiling Jupiter in the fifth and Mars in the first. So again, it's really a time about full self-expression. And that doesn't just mean creatively, that also means verbally. How do we translate something that we feel or that we want to do into reality by either taking action on it, talking about it, breathing life into it? And that's what this transit is all about. You guys also have Venus and Sagittarius in your 12th house. So you guys might feel quite energized in terms of Mars being in the first house. Maybe you feel a little bit feistier, a little bit more action oriented, a little bit more kind of driven by those masculine qualities of wanting to get things done. But with Venus in your 12th house, usually this is a time when relationships kind of go on the back burner a little bit. This is usually not the most social time, although Jupiter in the fifth can encourage socialization. And Saturn even aspecting Jupiter can do that at this time for you guys. But there can be something where we feel like our relationships, they don't have the same like vivaciousness to them, or our physical appearance and our self-worth. Those things can also be something that we're kind of questioning a little bit when Venus is in the 12th house. Maybe we don't feel as beautiful or as sexy as we normally do. Maybe we feel like we're a little bit disconnected with our feminine energy and we are not as like magnetic as usual. Or maybe it's just a time when you want to be home a little bit more alone. And those are kind of normal things to experience with Venus in the 12th house. But it's also trining Chiron in the 4th house. So whatever that is doing is helping you also process some of the things that have, again, kept you stuck in an older identity, or process some emotions and things that you need to sift through to improve your relationships or improve your relationship with yourself and your own view of your own beauty. But it's almost like the time that you do spend away from your friends or not socializing is going to benefit you, because it's going to help you process this up leveling that you're going through and make sure that you're not tied to the old identity. So I really see this as being an opportunity also to examine self-sabotaging behaviors. This could be things that, again, are linked with you not feeling worthy or not feeling beautiful or not feeling like enough, or getting stuck in relationship patterns that are not deserving of you because of this kind of self-undoing behavior that any planet moving through the 12th house can act on. So Venus in the 12th can, again, commit to the wrong people, eat the wrong things, spend money on the wrong things, doing the things that are not really in our best interest. And it's time to observe that. Like, I am ready for this up leveling, but are there behaviors and things that don't match that new identity? And this new moon is going to draw that to light in a very obvious way. So let me wrap up this reading for you guys by choosing a goddess card that is going to represent you throughout all of 2024. So what's the goddess for Capricorn? All right, so I have Alliance. Interesting. So this might be a year for you in which you're meant to find somebody or collaborate and work with somebody. You might find that relationships are a source of joy for you this year, especially Jupiter moving through the social house of Jupiter, or the fifth house. Jupiter moving through the fifth house, which is social. So you might find that you are attracting more alliances, more friendships, more people to support you in your time of need. So this is definitely not the time to try to do everything on your own, which is a typical Capricorn experience, but to really reach out and ask for help, ask for support, try to connect with people, make really, honest and profound relationship connections with people. I think you'll find that those really serve you in a huge way throughout 2024. So that's what I'm saying for you, Capricorn. Before we wrap up, I wanted to let you know I have two offerings two 2024 forecasts. One is a one-on-one reading with me where we go through month by month and look at your year ahead, kind of give you advice on what's going on, what might happen next year, when to plan for certain things. And then I also have a Notion template where I list out all the transits and their energies if you're interested in that. Those will both be linked down below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment, and share with your friends, and have a beautiful day. Bye.